Hello everyone, my name is Zeotrex, and today we're doing a review of Final Destination Bloodlines, the most recent entry in the Final Destination franchise, which has been laying dormant for over 14 years. Final Destination Bloodlines follows the grandchild of a woman who had a premonition of a disaster she prevented, meaning death has come for her family. So, Final Destination, it's no secret, we all love it. We all know these movies well enough, the disasters, they're big disastrous events followed by the mousetrap like death sequences. However, that like after a bit with these movies sort of came out in that like that Saw era of horror. It was it was a very 2000s franchise. Um, but movie after movie after movie, they all follow the same formula. Guy survives the event, a bunch of people survive who shouldn't have. They get killed off one by one. While the movies were fun, it gets a bit staled. Now, most of these movies weren't bad, except one. Fuck you, Final Destination 4. It's easy to imagine why the franchise went away for so long, but Bloodlines brings it back. It reestablishes the. It gives you that Final Destination need that you've. Hold on. Come on. Come on! It gives you that Final Destination need that you've been missing with these films for so long. And it also spices things up. Hold on. So Final Destination Bloodlines, it brings back the franchise. It reestablishes everything that you've missed and loved about this franchise while also spicing things up a bit. The tragic event that happens at the beginning of the movie, the big premonition where everyone dies but not really, happens in the past actually. And rather than following a group of friends on like a field trip, a we actually follow a family this time. This movie is much more about a family. Did it succeed? Did it succeed on the job of just being a good movie? I miss this franchise. So I'm glad to say that Final Destination Bloodlines was a damn good movie. Not perfect, but honestly, what I wanted out of Final Destination, all of my needs were hit with this movie. So the main reason why you are here is because of the deaths, right? Those sequences of like, oh, this penny, which actually, hold on, the pet. If you've seen the movie, if you haven't while you're watching this, but the Gur wallet, um, like a penny could fall down, it could hit like an electrical socket that could, like, you get what I'm saying. Those are what made these movies so fun, and I think every single most of the deaths in this movie um succeeded. That's gonna come back and kill me, I know it. In doing that, the movie, I think it brings back that sort of paranoid like feeling that you would have about normal day things, like, oh, now I'm scared to go into the Space Needle and scared to have piercings and all that, and check your ice for glass in it, which is kind of like whenever you go on a plane, do you think about the plane sequence from the first movie? The characters here, I do think, are a lot more likable than some of the later entries because it does have that family bond. But I don't think the movie does the best job on really fleshing them out in a character building way. It's great on fleshing them out, as in like spreading their limbs around. I think the standout character was Eric, since he was given the most personality and reasons why you should like him. He's nonchalant and cool. The sibling dynamic between our two main characters is also sweet, but their mother, I didn't really care for. In the movie, our main character's mother is Stephanie's mother is separated from her. She left her at a very young age. This is the granddaughter of the woman at the beginning who had the premonition, by the way. And because of this, there's like that awkward tension, and I didn't really care too much for their relationship, in all honesty. But let's talk about like the real highlight, because there's a few other characters, right, that are really just there to get killed. And while they're the main issue with some of the characters in the original series was simply just the fact that they were just douchebags, like God, like the fourth one, God. But this movie's cast of characters, I do think, is better. But again, I think there could have been done more. But let's talk about the main highlight, the genuine main, like, actual standout of the movie, and that is of course Tony Todd as William Bloodworth. It's a really bittersweet and fitting send off to Tony. Being in 4 out of the 5 movies, being in 3 physically, because remember, he voiced the attraction in the 3rd movie. This guy was just such a titan in the horror series. I mean, he was in Hatchet, he was in Candyman, he was just. You know that when he showed up on screen, that you were going to have a good time with him. He was great. He was absolutely fantastic. It's just that it's his voice, it's his presence. He's charismatic, he's mysterious, he's chilling. I mean, he's one of the best voices of Venom recently. He's done some voices for Transformers, and it's really great. And it's really fitting that this is his last role. That this is the last movie that he's done. Possibly. I don't. It most likely. I don't think he's done anything else. Or did anything else. And the whole scene with him, it really just hits you. It really just kind of, because first off, it's very clear that he is sick. For those who don't know, he did die of cancer at the age of 69 in November. And so seeing him like this in this movie, he's very obviously sick. He's a lot skinnier. He's a lot, drier in the face. It's clear that he's sick, which is really depressing to see. But he is still full of what the fuck was that? He was still really full of energy and life and like whatnot. Like he still brought a great presence to this scene. What is it doing? Um, instead of mysterious like how this character usually is at times, like he shows up, he's like, "Ooh, death is coming for you." He kind of offers comfort to our cast. He offers comfort to our cast, but the biggest talking point of this interaction was his goodbye, his exit. And I mean, the directors have confirmed that his words here, they are actually his final words to us, the audience. It, it's sad. It fucking sucks. And just him talk. The speech is, enjoy the time that you have left. I'm going to enjoy the time I have left, because you never know when death is going to come. Because it's in character, yet it is Tony talking to us, and it just hits you in the feel. And the movie, of course, does have an in memory of Tony Todd at the end. And Tony, we'll miss you. We'll miss you a lot, Tony. He brought a charismatic, charming yet threatening aura to the screen. And again, he's one of the best voices of Venom. He was great as Candyman. And you knew that anytime he would pop up, it'd be a damn good time. Rest in peace, Tony. Alright, so another thing I want to talk about are the effects. While I do think the CGI isn't too bad, it is a bit disappointing that they over rely on that CGI a bit, to the point where it is obvious it's CGI, since the original movies did have quite a lot of practical effects. It still got my theater squirming. the gores were really gory, and yeah, that's all I really gotta say. You know, I miss this franchise. Final Destination Bloodlines is such an exciting promise for the future. I really hope they do make a seventh and an eighth, and that this is a series that does continue to go on through time. Yeah, just it's great to have it back. Well, it's not the best in the franchise, which I think would go to five, which surprisingly is a hot take. A lot of people put five at the very fucking bottom, even though that clearly goes to the Final Destination. Like five was an actual movie with act like yeah. I don't. Here's my ranking real quick. At the very bottom, the Final Destination, then Final Destination 3, Final Destination, Final Destination 2. Actually, no. Bloodlines, then 2, then 5. I'd have to rewatch them though to get back to kind of think about it. Well, Bloodlines isn't the best in the series. It does a good job on reintroducing the series with things that you're familiar with, while also keeping things fresh. So it gets a B. Now, let's just get into some spoilers because there's nothing much. I just want to kind of talk about these kills, you know. So, like I mentioned, the disaster at the beginning takes place in the past, and the series of events is kind of a bit jumbled. So, there's this glass shard that falls from the ceiling. It cracks into the glass floor, and which it starts cracking under the pressure of everyone. There's this fucking kid with a penny. This penny, by the way, was a nuisance all movie. I'm not letting go of this thing. If I let go, it's gonna fall into my vent and blow my house up. So which actually is what happens here. It gets so the penny falls into the vent. It gets stuck in the fan. That fan shoots into gas. The gas leaks out, fire, and then it just starts crumbling. Everything just starts crumbling from there. A lot of gory death. There was a guy trying to get in the elevator, but it went down and sliced him in half like a hot dog. Ooh, that was gory. But that kid gets a fucking piano thrown onto him, and I laughed out loud so hard during that. That was the funniest part of the movie to me. But there's actually something unique about this tragedy. So as we all know, they see the premonition and they're like, okay, everyone needs to get off right now. Something bad is going to happen. People don't believe them. Usually a few people leave. A lot of people still die. However, nobody died during this event. The event never actually happened, which is a first in this series. I think that's a really cool way of doing it. And by the way, I wanted to mention this. There was this little kid that Iris, who is the girl who sees the premonition and the grandma, who she saves. And I actually was like, you know what? I think that might be a little Bloodworth. It was. It was also kind of mentioned in the movie that because she died, now he is going to die too, Bloodworth. And I think that was a really it's their way of writing him out of the series, you know. Um. So yeah, it plays into the bloodline thing. All these people had families, and just death had to take care of so much shit. It's like, oh my god, Iris, you should have just died. And speaking of Iris, she does die next. Uh, her entire life she's kind of just been taunting death. And so when she steps out, death just instantly gets her. So this fire extinguisher falls from the porch, the wind grows harsh, and the weather vane, I think it's called, falls down, falls into the fire extinguisher, shoots right from there into her mouth. Pretty gory, pretty traumatizing for the grandchild. And our second death was shown in the trailer. Uh, it's the lawnmower death. So, there's the main thing is that there is glass in the ice, which got a lot of people squirming. And I originally said that I do wish they did play into the fact that like someone's gonna drink it, but that would have been predictable. The thing is, though, we saw this in the trailer, so not too predictable. I do think the death was gory, but we didn't get to see too much of it because of the angle of the blades. Our third death, um, was super fun. So they fake you out with it, where they make you think it's Eric. the the tattoo guy, which was actually the teaser trailer. But he survives being burnt in the tattoo parlor. He survives being tattooed, which also, yeah, that whole thing was hard. So this chain from the ceiling falls down, hooks onto his nose, his piercing on his nose. And ooh. Our main character, Stephanie, she's analyzing the world around her. She's like, "Be careful. That's gonna fall from the tree. That's gonna hit that guy. That guy's gonna blow that soccer ball into you, and you could possibly die." And that actually does happen, but not to him, to his sister. She gets crushed in the garbage truck, which was super gruesome. Ugh. I kind of thought they would save her, actually, but yeah, nobody survives a Final Destination. And our next death was the MRI one, which I fucking hated because I'm probably going to have to do a lot more MRIs in the future. Real quick, off topic. I have this thing on my back where I have bursitis. So I've been going to the MRI quite often, and I've hated both times I had to go. Because one, I didn't know what I was going to get myself into. It felt really claustrophobic. And two, I was sick. I didn't eat. I had a bunch of gunk in my throat. I didn't want to move. I felt really claustrophobic. Because there's no sense of time in those things. So it's really scary. Here, I think it does kind of relieve it a bit here because of kind of how outlandish they do it. The thing is cranked up all the way, so all the metal in the building reacts to it. Anyways, Eric is trying to kill his brother Bobby because if you take a life, it would break Death's cycle. So he's trying to kill Bobby and bring him back to life using his peanut allergy. And they actually mentioned Kimberly from the second movie. I like that. But because he fucked with Death's plan, there was a MRI machine. A wheelchair comes in, pins him up against it. By the way, all his piercings get ripped out. He has nipple piercings and a dick piercing too. Ugh. All that gets ripped out, and the wheelchair just. The wheelchair then crushes him, and it's super gory. I think that's the best kill in the movie. And then the spring from a vending machine they were fucking around with earlier to get the peanut stuff flies into the MRI, impales Bobby in the head. Yeah. So our next kill is the mother, Darlene. She just gets squashed by a lamppost. I thought that was kind of lame, if you ask me. It's our big climax, though. They're trying to cheat death out, and I've always liked these sort of climaxes of them fighting against death. Um, yeah. And the ending, I kind of predicted it. That both of them are gonna die. The log trucks come back. Those fucking log trucks. But anyways, I think I've said enough. I'm trying to do some shorter videos because I noticed that these videos go on for quite a bit. Next review I'm hoping is Doom: The Dark Ages. I've really been having fun with that game, and I want to do another game review. So you can expect that probably sometime this week. Maybe Lilo and Stitch, depending on just if plans are gonna work out. But until then, again, rest in peace, Tony Todd. We miss you.